Hey, I'm Keith Lacognata. I handle national sales for Spartan surfaces. I grew up in the floor covering industry back from Brooklyn, New York. My parents owned a flooring store there, and I've been in the flooring business now for 22 years. So today we're gonna focus on tile, ceramic tile, porcelain tile. Tile's origination back from the ancient Greeks. Ceramic came from keramos, and tegula, meaning to cover. Inside, outside, tiles everywhere.
How is tile made?
Tile's made from different types of clay. Some are denser than others, and color pigments, which give the tile its actual look. There's two different types of tile. There's ceramic tile and porcelain tile. With porcelain, you have a very low water absorption rate, which is why it's so stain resistant. And it is fired at a very high temperature in the kiln for a longer duration than ceramic, which is why it's more durable. This wall tile here, ceramic, floor tile, porcelain, but if you were to put them side by side, there's really no telltale sign that one is ceramic and one's porcelain. So once again, to revisit the difference, porcelain, much higher level of stain resistance because of its lower absorption of water rate and a lot more durable. So typically we see in commercial applications, porcelain tile being used predominantly on the floor or the wall, and ceramic tiles almost always used on the wall only, simply due to the lack of durability versus porcelain.
What are the different constructions of tile?
So there's two main constructions that we see most often. There's the bisque, or the body of the tile, and there's the glaze. The body of the tile can be made up of a couple of different options. You have a white body tile, which you can see right here, where the actual body of the tile is white. You have a color body tile. So with this, the bisque is actually tinted to coordinate with the color on top of the tile, which if it scratches, if it should chip, less likely to see that imperfection because of the color body. And then you have through body, where the color on top goes all the way through to the bottom, very similar to a homogeneous vinyl. Secondly, glaze. Glaze is applied and fired at a high temperature to be the actual protective coating on top of tiles. So the easiest example that I know of to explain glaze is it's just like the clear coat on a car. Clear coat is put on there to protect the paint. Glaze is put on a tile to protect the tile from imperfections, scratches, scuffs, stuff like that. The one misnomer that people typically don't understand is they think that a matte or satin finish tile has no glaze. They automatically assimilate glaze with polish, shiny, and that's not the case. A glaze can come in a matte finish, or a glaze can come in a polish. Either way, a tile could come glazed or unglazed.
What does rectified and non-rectified tile mean?
When a tile comes out of the kiln, there's always a level of shrinkage or warpage with that tile. Very hard to see with the naked eye. When it's installed is when you really see that imperfection. So on a large installation or on a large format tile, you will pick up on some imperfections if the tile is not rectified. On the flip side, a rectified tile will come out of that kiln and then it's actually grinded, polished, and cut to the exact dimension of that tile. The edges are very sharp, almost at a 90-degree angle. And the major advantage of a rectified tile, number one, to get that real perfect symmetrical installation. And secondly, which everyone loves, what the installers call toothpick the grout lines and go less than 1/8 of an inch to get that real tight grout line and make floor look absolutely gorgeous. So with a rectified tile, you can expect to see the edges of the tile real sharp and square versus a non-rectified tile that some of them will be have a slight bevel to it, but it will not be as sharp as a rectified tile. With rectified and non-rectified tiles comes probably one of the most commonly asked questions. What grout size can I use with these tiles? Typically, the Tile Council of North America, TCNA, implement all of the guidelines for tile, and they recommend on a non-rectified tile, nothing less than 1/8 inch of a grout line. When you get into your rectified tiles, the perfect sizes and dimensions, you can actually go less than 1/8 of an inch and get that really tight grout line that everybody prefers. With non-rectified, you can make up for some imperfections because of that wider grout line. versus rectified, where you've got to be pretty spot on because those tiles are cut to the exact dimension. A couple of other advantages of non-rectified are they're less expensive than rectified tiles, and they tend to be a little bit more casual. They have more of a casual feel than that more contemporary, formal look in a rectified tile.
How are commercial and residential tiles different?
Number one, where we spoke about the durability and the water absorption, how a porcelain exceeds over a ceramic, that's number one. So porcelain tile is the tile of choice for commercial application. Ceramic in a commercial application will typically only be used on the walls. Okay, you don't want to walk on that, doesn't have the durability factor. Secondly, with porcelain, you have a rating from the Porcelain Enamel Institute. It's called a PEI rating. There's a machine that measures abrasion resistance. So that's what the PEI scale is all about, abrasion resistance. The machine applies pressure and spins. So it counts the number of revolutions until damage could be seen on the surface of the tile. The more revolutions, the higher the PEI rating. And it's a rating from 1 to 5. So to give you an idea, 1 and 2 could be considered a backsplash or a shower surround. 3 would be a residential application, 4 light commercial, and 5 heavy commercial. Always look at the application where the tile's going into and choose the proper tile with its proper PEI rating to fit that project. Last thing you want to do is pick a Pay 3, which is made for residential, and put it in a high traffic commercial application. It's not going to be a good scenario. So definitely look at PEI rating and porcelains for your next commercial project.
Where is tile commonly installed?
Tile is probably the one surfacing material that is used across every single market segment out there. Healthcare, corporate, education, multifamily, senior living, you name it, hospitality, tile is somewhere. It's a hygienic product that can be sanitized, which is very important these days. It's very easy to take care of. Tiles installed on the floor, on walls, and then exterior buildings as a cladding. Tile can be installed on various numbers of substrates. One of the most popular would be concrete. And it's very important that before installation, all the proper preparatory types of materials are used on that concrete substrate. So making sure that that concrete is flat and smooth, because the last thing you want is to put tile over an uneven substrate, something heavy drops on it and it'll crack. Other than that, using the proper type of thin-set materials for the tile, larger format tile, for example, requires special types of thin-set to install them. Depending on the application, a specialized type of grout to minimize the maintenance and the stain resistance.
What drives pricing on tile?
There's a lot of factors that drive pricing on tile. The number one factor is natural gas. All different countries have different natural gas prices. That's the number one contributor. Other factors, whether the tile is glazed or unglazed, whether it's rectified or non-rectified, price differences based on the bisque, the body of the tile. It would start with a red body, which is typically ceramic. Then it would go to a white body, then a color body, and then your through body would be the most expensive. All these things are contributors to the rise or fall of cost of tile.
What is trending in tile?
So from what we see across the United States where we sell our tile, numerous trends going on. First off, geometric shapes and patterns, very, very popular, whether it's on the floor or the wall. We have numerous tiles, whether it's symmetrical linear patterns or tiles that take on different geometric shapes, herringbone, chevron patterns for wall applications, for backsplashes, hardwood flooring that is not very rustic. So a lot of designers want that wood look and they don't want it to look like wood. Take the knots out, take the rusticness out, and go with more of a clean, straight grain wood visual, more of a contemporary modern feel. Large format is very popular. So I remember when large format used to be 12 by 24, right? Now you're looking at 24 by 48 and slabs, which could be up to 6 feet tall, 4 feet wide. Definitely takes a special person to install those large format tiles. As of late, last couple of years, there's a new type of polishing process that resembles a traditional, let's just say, creme marfil marble. So it's a honed finish. And there's a couple of factories out there that have perfected that honed finish on a porcelain tile. And if you look at this tile installed, it's very difficult to tell if you're looking at porcelain or if you're looking at the real thing, the real actual marble product. Many people think that honed and matte is one and the same, and it's really not. The only thing that these two finishes have in common is that it's a dull, flat finish. If you zoom in on the matte, what you'll notice is that there's a slight orange peel texture to it, okay? Which is just part of the manufacturing process. On my left, with this honed finish tile, you'll notice it is completely smooth, it's soft to the touch, and there's no orange peel texture, which makes the honed finish extremely desirable today, especially with these Calcutta marble looks. Hope you guys learned something today about tile. If you want to find out about any of our other Flooring University videos, check out our YouTube channel or go to SpartanSurfaces.com. On your next project, if you're looking for tile, hit up one of your Spartan Surfaces sales reps. They'll be happy to help you. And you can find them under the people section of SpartanSurfaces.com.